There is not one team in the Women's World Cup that could beat a junior male side in the A-League.
So what?
Motherfucker. These are the women on social media. Like, they're just so stuck up. What do you mean, so what? Do you know what we're talking about? So they shouldn't get paid the same!
Matilda's Soccer World Cup win against Brazil pushed women's sport into the headlines, but it's definitely not reflected in their earnings. Each Matilda was paid just $500 in match fees. Compare that to the $7,500 their male counterparts would have received. Now, if they make it to the final, the girls will get $5,500 each. The blokes will get $69,000 each.
Each!
How can anyone judge?
Do you guys understand what she just said? Okay, she said if they make it to the finals, they'll get $5,500 each, and the men would get $65,000 each. How much do they bring in? Ask yourself that. Wait, who's doing the paying? Real shit, ask yourself this. Like, all the women that think like this, who's doing the paying? The money comes from the people. And who has more people? Men's soccer has more people. Just think one more time. I have a lemonade stand, you have a lemonade stand. If I have more customers than you, I'm gonna get more money than you. It's just as simple as that. I don't know why they make it so complicated. Instead of fucking complaining, if you went and watched women's soccer, maybe they would earn the same pay as men. How about you think about that side, huh? No, real shit, think about it. If all men watched men's soccer and all women watched women's soccer, maybe they'll be earning the same. But no, you want to sit here and complain. I'm telling you, half these women that complain about, oh, women soccer players don't get the same amount of pay. They don't even watch soccer. So when girls are like you are not even supporting them, how can they get the money? Where do you want the money to come from?
Justify this item?
They can't.
No.
I mean, the gender... I beg your pardon?
I can justify it.
Why?
Well, I tell you what, stars don't get paid more money because, sport doesn't become interesting because the stars are paid more money. Stars get paid more money because the sport is interesting. Let me ask you this. How many of you guys on the panel know who our Australian Matildas are playing in the quarterfinals?
Don't.
No, because you don't care about it. Now, if you cared...
I'm actually asking you, where do you want the money to come from? As a man, I have a lemonade stand. As a woman, you have a lemonade stand. I have more customers, so I'm getting more money. But you're sitting here complaining, the lemonade stand committee talking about, oh, I should be getting the same money as him. Then bring more customers. I don't know. If you guys, every time you guys scored a goal, if you guys threw ass, maybe you would have had more viewers. And that's just my opinion. The goal is get more viewers. So every time y'all scored a goal, y'all threw ass. If y'all threw ass for the national anthem, you guys would have got goddamn more people in the goddamn stadiums, which would have generated more goddamn revenue. And that's just one idea though. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things you could do instead of goddamn complaining. I mean, that's a great idea. Chat, don't you think so, bro? Throw ass every time they scored? Real shit. Who wouldn't watch it? Now at this point, a lot of men are watching, cheering for you to score. Just like a normal soccer match. The only difference is they want you to score, not to win, but to throw ass.
I'll do if they win.
Like,
No, but that's the thing.
They beat
Do you know what?
Brazil.
All of you can go and watch W League games in the women's competition here, but you don't. Now, when you start to go and watch these women play the wonderful football they do, then they'll earn more money.
Why do rappers get paid the same? Like girl rappers and boy rappers? Because they're generating the same money. A woman singer and a man singer are very evenly paid, by the way. If anything, a girl's paid more if she throwing ass a little bit. I mean, use your ass to your advantage if you want to get paid so bad. Don't go as far as OnlyFans, but like, you know, the real shit. I can sit here and complain, oh, I made an OnlyFans, she made an OnlyFans, why is she making way more money than me? That's just how it is, buddy. Deal with it. That's what you would tell me. Wait, why don't men complain about that? Real shit. Why don't men complain about not getting the same pay as OnlyFans girls? I feel like you can actually justify men athletes getting paid more than girl athletes, but you can't justify men OnlyFans people getting paid more than, you feel me?
But I don't go to watch the men play football either.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people do, Ita. The Men's World Cup is one of the biggest money spinners on the planet. Women's football, even though at grassroots level it's working really, really well, it's got a long way to go. The other thing, let me ask you this, sports equality. The top 10 fastest
If they get me
men
on
of
a
all time
podcast,
in
it's
terms
over.
of
I'm taking
sprinters
over.
are all black, of African origin. Are you telling me that the white guys should say, hold on, we should be paid just as much as the black guys for sprinting? No, because they're not as fast.
No, whoever wins gets the most.
Yeah, well, that's it. Do you know what? There is not one team in the Women's World Cup that could beat a junior male side in the A-League.
So what?
So they're not as good.
Motherfucker, these are the women on TV. These are the women on social media. Like, they're just so, like, stuck up. He just said any youth team would beat any professional women's soccer team. And she said, so what? Like, I would just give up at that point. What do you mean, so what? Do you know what we're talking about? Do you know what the subject is? So they shouldn't get paid the same. That's what I mean. So they shouldn't get paid the same.
They're playing women.
Nonsense.
What?
Maybe
No,
that's them.
but why? But to me, it comes down to simply a matter of inequity. It's not. I mean, women are not paid the same amount of money as blokes in so many professions, and I think we need to pay women more in sport, in all sorts of different jobs.
Well, regardless of whether the product's as good.
But they are top of their game, so why aren't they paid?
Because
What if the top of their game is not enough? The best basketball player is not nearly as entertaining as LeBron James. Why am I even comparing it to LeBron James? She's not nearly as entertaining as what's it called? Fucking anybody on that plays in the NBA. If the worst basketball player in the NBA is better than the best WNBA player, that should tell you something.
Dollar for being top of their game
They're
and
not top of the mind.
let's talk about tennis. Okay, tennis, the pay discrepancy in world tennis is not as great as other sports. So at Wimbledon,
But only recently.
Yeah, that's right. But the reason being is because the product that the female tennis players are offering is good. Because in male tennis, it's serve, volley, ace, double fault. Whereas women's tennis is more about rallies.
Yeah.
It's
I
better
don't
to
know
watch,
much about
and
tennis.
That's why it's paid more.
Dicko,
But I do
think-
know
don't
girls
you
in
think
tennis
the
are
Matildas
paid
would
more?
say to you, what do you mean football isn't as good? It is as good. We are...
But the ratings aren't as good, and it comes down to a business thing where not as many people are watching it, so there's not
Eyeballs
much
on
money
screen.
getting
But
paid.
then
It's
it's
sad,
a
it's not a gender thing, it's a business thing.
But it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's hard to get women's sport on television. It's hard to get women's sport in newspapers, the coverage.
Because it's not entertaining. Because it doesn't sell. The newspapers still don't sell. Because if you put them on TV, nobody would watch. How do you not get that? I don't understand. She's saying like, oh my God, like, but women don't get put on TV enough. If I own a TV channel, why would I put women's soccer on my TV? I don't care who it is. Okay, if I own a TV channel, right? I don't care who it is. If it's getting me people, if it's getting me audience, I'm gonna put them on my TV. So if it's men, it's men. If it's women, it's women. But unfortunately, it's men. I shouldn't even say unfortunately. It's men. Simple as that.
Men's sports, and so the build-up is even harder to get.
Ita, the only reason we're talking about the Matildas today is not because of their achievements on the field, but because of a gender pay discrepancy. Therefore, it's not the sport you're interested in, but the injustice.
Instead of doing that real shit, instead of doing that, why don't you turn around and throw some ass? I'm serious. Don't you think that would pull more viewership? That's what any athlete is trying to get. Viewership. Why don't you, when you celebrate, why don't you turn around and throw some ass? Nigga, pull your pants down. Fuck it.
Me saying, wasn't it fantastic the Matildas beat Brazil?
Yeah, good, but how...
And we were talking about it. We were all talking about it on the panel. We showed Dicko that does make clip. a good point. Can you name 5 players from the team? I can't. But I'm not a soccer fan. That still doesn't mean I can't stand up for women to be paid the same amount as blokes. I think the point Dicko is...
You should ask her, do you know who Rolando is? Messi. Neymar. She would know these names even though she's not a soccer fan. But why does she know the girls' names? Especially you being such a feminist, why don't you support the girls? Real shit.
Trying to make is if we want more pay
Everybody get
to
naked.
happen,
Let's see who pussy
we
the
need to
best.
support women's sport and watch it more. As a country, we need to get behind, you know, our big female sporting teams instead of just complaining that we're not paid the same.
Women's football is fantastic in this country, but unless you support it, you can't expect it to be paid as much as the
Real
blokes.
shit.
Let's look at
Instead of
some feedback.
complaining,
See what you
support
guys
the goddamn fucking team, man. Man, real shit, man.